Let us know, Meat Boys, who you guys are rolling with in this one, and if you have a good read on it, because for me, Meat, I don't know, this one is pretty tough. Biggie Boy, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, taking on Chris Daukaus, who at 4-2 in the UFC is a guy who had won 4 straight, right? He was picking up performance of the night bonuses back to back to back, right? Smoked Nascimento, smoked the boa constrictor Alexei Oleinik, and then Shamil Abdurakhimov got absolutely brutalized in the second round. 3 straight performance of the nights, and then Chris Daukaus gets finished twice, back to back, one to Derek Lewis, a fight that was over before it began, and then most recently to Curtis Blades. It was as soon as the second round started, right? It was almost as though Curtis Blades, took his time, was patient, getting the reads on Chris Daukaus, and then as soon as that second round started, he just was like a bat out of hell and absolutely smoked Chris Daukaus. So 2 straight brutal finish losses for Chris Daukaus, and curious to see what he looks like coming in against Biggie Boy, who we know is a guy that packs an absolute powerful punch. This guy has finish over finish. Another guy similar to Chris Daukaus, who started his career off with just an absolute bang. I mean, this guy had 4 straight finishes. Those included Andrei Arlovsky, who rarely gets finished, and then we always mention it, but the 2-second lip job versus Alistair Overeem in a fight where Overeem, had he just survived a couple more seconds, he would have won the fight, but Biggie Boy, a testament to how he is always dangerous, was able to sleep him at the very last second. But since then, it's been kind of tough, right? He got his soul snatched by Francis Ngannou, rebounded well with a nice win over JDS, took out Augusto Sakai, but lost to Cyril Gane, lost to Curtis Blades, and then most recently, and I think most concerningly, was he got smoked by Alexander Volkov in just 2 minutes. Volkov, we know, is an always tough heavyweight, but the fact that he was able to sleep Biggie Boy with such ease, and I know Biggie Boy thought it was a questionable stoppage, but I think most thought it was justified because Volkov was landing some stiff, absolute hammers on him, and Biggie Boy was just basically unconscious, eating meat bomb after meat bomb. So what are your thoughts on this one? Both guys just got finished most recently. Both guys seemingly have their backs up against the wall. Are you taking Biggie Boy, or is Chris Daukaus sending Biggie Boy to Slap FC?
Honestly, I think it's gonna turn into Slap FC, or bare knuckle boxing. I think Chris Daukaus is done, so I think he's riding. I think he might get cut after this one. His brother's coming off a loss. If he comes off a loss, UC's gonna go, we don't need these guys. These guys are just a bunch of losers. So I think Biggie Boy's gonna come through. I think he's gonna knock him out first round. Tapology sees the same way. These are heavyweights, right, guys? So, Daukaus could absolutely get a knockout, could get a submission, could get anything. These are big boys. Anything's possible when it comes to these guys. But I just think Rozenstruik is the better striker. He's got a lot of kickboxing experience. So Chris Daukaus is going to want to get it to the ground, in my opinion. But can he and will he? That's the question. Is he going to go Kevin Holland? He knows the game plan, but he just doesn't execute, or he doesn't know how, or he doesn't want to because of ego. We'll see. But I think Biggie Boy, either way, is going to be the stronger fighter. He is a little heavier, but he's a little shorter. So it's going to be interesting to see if Chris Daukaus outstrikes him and beats him on the feet. I'll be very impressed, because Biggie Boy, he's got an insane amount of kickboxing experience, and he is a very legit, stand-up fighter. As we've seen, he's kind of the veteran killer. He's beaten, all the legends from, Uberim to Arlovsky and all those guys. It's pretty impressive. His resume speaks way louder to me than Chris Daukaus' resume in the UFC. So that's why I got to ride with him. I'm probably going to fade this one personally, though, on anything. I might look at some props, but I just don't like those odds. And these are big guys, and they both kind of suck, to be honest. But I do like Rozenstruik more in this fight.
Yeah, I feel that, and I think it's fair to not be in love with the odds, right? Minus 170 for Jairzinho doesn't scream value, and then plus 145 for Daukaus, that's not the greatest either. I sort of thought this would be closer to a pick'em, but nonetheless, Vegas is seeing Jairzinho with a decent advantage, and Tapology is singing the same song, right? 80% is rolling with Biggie Boy. Essentially, all of it is Brown. They think that KO streak losing streak for Daukaus will continue at the hands of Rozenstruik, and 20% is rolling with Daukaus, and majority of theirs is Brown as well. So basically, most of Tapology thinks that this fight is going to end via KO, and in this one, Meat, much like you, I don't think I have the most confident of picks in this one, but I'm gonna roll with Chris Daukaus. One hates to utter those words in that order, but it is what it is, and I think that Daukaus is going to find a way. You mentioned it; he has to wrestle in this, and I think that if he's able to slow this fight down, take it to the mat, and just make those first 10 minutes really gritty, make Jairzinho really work and kind of suck the power away from him and, from the onset, I think that's going to be his best pathway. I don't envision this being a contest that Chris Daukaus comes into with a lot of confidence on the feet. I think it would be a silly game plan if he's trying to just meet in the middle and throw hands with Biggie Boy, because while they will be pretty similar in size, and I don't know, it's tough to say who will have the speed advantage. I do think Rozenstruik he's maybe a little bit quicker and hits just a little bit harder. So if those guys are just exchanging YOLO meat bombs in the middle, then it's probably a bad idea for Daukaus. So I think his best idea is to mix in some grappling, maybe pin him up against the cage if he can, if he even has that strength advantage, right? And Biggie Boy might just toss him around. So it's an interesting fight to break down for sure, but I'm going to go Daukaus under the idea that he mixes it up and is able to actually win a decision. So Chris Daukaus by decision. Sucks to say it, though. Any last thoughts?
No, yeah, I don't blame you, but I just don't see it. But hey, guys, throw in the comments. Are you taking Chris or are you taking Biggie Boy with this one?